with the superintendent of the Marion Center Schools, Clint Weimer, and with high school principal Matt Jioio, brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
Good morning.
It's good to have you both with us here today. Matt, let's start with you. We're getting set for graduation. As I've told our other school district representatives, nothing like anybody's ever experienced before, and certainly that's the case at Marion Center, correct?
Absolutely. We're starting a new chapter here, and it's getting. I'm trying to figure out all the variables that come with the regulations and being at the stadium. So we're working through that. Got a lot of volunteers willing to help. So we're hoping it's going to be a good event.
All right. So as the school board met last week, I believe it was, the last we heard was the stadium was going to be the site, although there was the possibility it could be the parking lot as well. But we've now focused in on the stadium, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We've planned for a very restrictive social distancing platform, if you will. People will be escorted from the cars to assigned seating. We've limited tickets to our graduates. As far as everybody is going to be socially distanced apart, we're gridding the field. It'll look like a large checkerboard with social spacing for families out there on the field, and the students will be socially distanced in the stands. We will be wearing face coverings, and all the volunteers will have face coverings and gloves on.
All right. And so, graduation is what day?
June 2nd, next Tuesday.
Oh, on Tuesday. All right.
Yeah.
So you're getting it rolling. I always joke about the Marion Center football field because the groundskeepers there always keep the grass really high so the guys don't run too fast. So maybe to keep them social distanced, that's what they do.
Right. Yeah. Well, we cut the grass. We're prettying the field up. The maintenance is doing a great job, like power washing the stands and painting the fences and things like that. So I think it'll be a memorable event. We hope. The kids have been real appreciative of the efforts that we're putting into it, and so have our families. So we hope that everybody has a memorable experience, under these conditions.
One of the things that we hear, Matt, from some of the other schools is that they're getting messages back from some of their seniors, and the seniors, by and large, are just very grateful for all of the extra efforts that folks are going through to make this special because nobody saw this coming. Right.
Being an educator, the seniors missed the best part of their year. There's nothing, I always call it senioritis. It hits around March or April, and they start really enjoying the camaraderie of being seniors and finishing up their high school careers, with senior class trips and proms and graduation plans. And it's a real special time for seniors. And, all of us in education really feel terrible that they missed that part of the year. So we're trying to do everything we can, and I think that's why I got so many volunteers willing to help out, because I think it's just a huge thing for kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Clint Weimer, Superintendent of the Marion Center School District. Clint, we were talking about rural broadband a couple of moments ago and how the state is now moving forward pretty aggressively with getting money into the hands of the folks who could make rural broadband happen. I know that's been an issue for every school district once we got down to distance education such as it is, and it was at Marion Center as well.
Absolutely, Todd. We estimate that we have roughly 40% of our students that struggle with high-speed internet connection, making it a challenge to complete online work. So we always keep that at the forefront when we're sending out materials to students and families to make sure we're as equitable as possible and providing everybody opportunities. But like you said, in these new and challenging times, not having the access in the rural areas makes it difficult to provide the same opportunities for all kids. But again, we're striving hard to do so, and it is a challenge.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're going to take lessons that you've learned over the next 2 months, and over the summer, I'm sure, like every other school district, you're going to refine those so that if it happens again in the fall or at some point in the future, you maybe be better prepared. I'm sure there are good things you've noticed about the response, and there are some things that need some work.
Absolutely. There's no playbook for what we came up against here. This is new territory for all of us. My administrative team has been doing a great job of refining the process, and whether we're doing our online Google Classroom or our packets that we're pushing out for those families that struggle with internet connections, the refinement process, again, is just making it a little bit more streamlined and more equitable as we move into the fall. We have our fingers crossed, though. I'm just hoping that we can have a normal startup and get our kids back in a traditional manner. But, of course, it's learn as you go and continue to refine. And, again, I can't say enough about the Marion Center Area School District and the community, the support we've had through this whole process.
Clint, as a superintendent, of course, you have contact with all of the other superintendents, not only here in Indiana County, but around the region. And I'm sure as a group, you've got a pretty good forum for passing ideas back and forth.
Yes, the Indiana County superintendents meet. We started out doing a Zoom meeting every day for probably the first 8 weeks. Now we meet twice a week through Aaron via Zoom. And I also sit daily on the passive Board of Governors, which they meet 3 days a week also. And that's the superintendents across the entire state. And every superintendent can also participate in that meeting, to where we just kind of see the diversity as we move across the state. But I can tell you, Todd, most all districts are up against the same problems. It just depends on how each district is able to deploy their resources.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's bring Matt Jioio back into the conversation. Matt, the principal at the high school, and so you have students, of course, who will be processing on to their post-high school careers. Meanwhile, you've got new students coming into the school next year. You got students stepping up a grade, and so the summer's not a quiet time by any means for any school district, but particularly this summer, I would guess that there are some issues that have to be covered, and pretty quickly. Would I be right to say that?
Yeah, thanks, Todd. My anxiety level just went up. But no, you are absolutely right, because when you talk about starting up the school year, as Mr. Weimer just said, whether we're coming back at a tiered forum or some type of 50% capacity or something like that, the scheduling is going to be a challenge, to say the least, as far as building a schedule, because we offer a lot of different courses and opportunities for kids, and we want to continue doing that. So yeah, it's going to be, once we get some kind of direction from either PDE or the state in some fashion, we'll move ahead and try to comply with that and do the best we can as far as scheduling goes and getting those kids acclimated back into school. I think the kids really want to come back. That's what I'm seeing and feeling. Mm-hmm. They miss their peers. They miss the social interaction that they get at school and all the activities.
Yeah, and the educational value of those social interactions, I think, might be downplayed in any other year, but now we're realizing just how important it is.
Yeah, I think this opened up a lot of eyes as far as from community members, teachers, students, and what school actually means to, the growth of a child.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk, if you would, for a little bit about those students who will be spending their first years in that building next year. For that, that first year, that orientation, finding your way around the halls and getting to the right room at the right time. There's a lot of new responsibilities that students have, and that will be something to face up to when this fall comes, whatever the fall looks like.
Absolutely. I mean, we deal with that every year with sixth grade moving into the seventh grade year, and they kind of look a little bit like deer in headlights when they come in the first month or so. We really take care of them, and we're out in the halls, guiding them and supporting them. And then they hit their groove, and then they start moving forward. However, what this new year looks like for them could be a change. The good news is they don't know any different. I think it's going to be more of a challenge for the students that are already acclimated to the way things run in the high school, mm-hmm. and with the new changes and the new way that we may have to do things, could be a challenge for them.
Yeah, can't do that anymore. Clint Weimer, across the district and across what we're hearing from other school districts, the real concern for the startup of school in the fall will be not only the summer slide, but a slide that goes back even further than that, and a lot of ground to make up. School district preparing in any specific ways, or still examining the options?
We're still definitely examining all options because it's such a moving target, Todd. We do know that there is going to be a little bit of regression and recoupment, but there are studies out there to show also that if we can get the kids back, surely by the time they graduate, we'll have them right on target. The big concern again is getting some concrete guidance from PDE and the state, so schools can begin to make sound calls and sound choices to support our community, because that's where the anxiety lies, what's going to occur and what to plan for. So again, as soon as we can get some solid guidance, and we are going to begin to move forward with creating a plan to get our students back in the building here in August. We're working on it now. We have a lot of good ideas, working with the Indiana County Superintendents. Again, I told you we meet multiple times a week, and we're bouncing ideas off of each other and trying to come up with a similar, but, of course, individualized plan for each district.
Indiana County's in the yellow phase right now. Rumor is pretty strong that will be named for Greene to take place a week from now, and that naming could come as early as tomorrow. And if that is the case, does that make all that big a difference at Marion Center in the way you're able to do things within the buildings in the district, seeing as how the school year actually comes to an end before then?
If we're able to go to Greene, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Todd, I believe Greene is full opening with no restrictions. At that point, we can begin to look at having students in and out of buildings for summer programming. Having our athletic camps could begin to start. It definitely allows us to get back to what we consider normal operation.
Yeah. Well, there are some restrictions. It's just they haven't been defined yet, and you like all of us are going to be looking with great interest at those, whatever those green phases mean for all of Pennsylvania. Gentlemen, I'm so glad you're able to join us today. Wish the best to Marion Center as they continue to deal with this, as well as all of our other Indiana County school districts. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS, AM 1160 and 101.1 FM. 101.1 FM.